The biggest tomato pruning mistake I see isn't failing to remove suckers. It's removing too many leaves at the wrong time. I've tested heavily pruned tomato plants beside plants that were pruned selectively, and the difference becomes obvious once the plants start producing fruit. A tomato plant needs sunlight, airflow, and support, but it also needs enough healthy leaves to manufacture the energy that fills those tomatoes. If you strip the plant too aggressively, you can end up solving one problem while creating several others. For clean, controlled cuts, I use bypass pruning shears because they make it easier to remove unwanted suckers, damaged growth, and crowded branches without tearing the stems. I've linked the pair I use in the description if you want to see the exact type. The first thing to understand is that tomato pruning isn't supposed to make your plant look neat. It is supposed to help the plant use its energy efficiently while keeping the canopy manageable. One of the most common mistakes is treating every tomato plant as if it should be pruned exactly the same way. That doesn't work. Determinate tomatoes generally grow to a more limited size and produce much of their crop over a relatively concentrated period. Indeterminate varieties continue growing and producing along their stems for much longer. The pruning strategy you use should reflect that difference. If you're growing an indeterminate tomato in a raised bed, for example, you may want to train it to one or two main stems and remove selected suckers as the plant develops. But that doesn't mean removing every side shoot the moment you see it. A sucker is a shoot that develops between the main stem and a leaf branch. Some gardeners see every sucker as a thief stealing nutrients from their tomatoes. That's an oversimplification. Those shoots become leaves and sometimes fruit-producing branches. Removing some of them can improve organization and airflow, but removing all of them can reduce the plant's ability to capture sunlight. Think of the leaves as the plant's solar panels. They capture sunlight and use that energy to manufacture sugars through photosynthesis. Those sugars support growth and fruit development. So when you remove a large amount of healthy foliage, you're also removing part of the plant's energy-producing system. This is why I prefer selective pruning rather than aggressive pruning. Start by removing anything that is clearly damaged, diseased, dead, or touching the soil. Lower leaves that regularly contact wet soil can create an unnecessary disease management problem, especially when water or soil splashes onto the foliage. Next, look at the interior of the plant. If several branches are growing directly into each other and creating a dense wall of foliage, you can selectively remove a few shoots to open the canopy. You're not trying to make the plant look bare. You're creating enough space for air to move through the foliage and for you to inspect the plant easily. And this is where many gardeners go too far. They remove healthy leaves simply because those leaves look crowded. Instead, ask whether the leaf is healthy, productive, and contributing to the plant. If it is, there is usually a good reason to leave it alone. Another mistake is pruning during the hottest part of the day. When possible, prune when the plant is dry and conditions are moderate. Early morning can work well, provided the foliage is dry. Avoid making unnecessary cuts when plants are stressed by extreme heat or drought. You also need to pay attention to the size of the cuts. Small suckers are much easier to remove than thick, established branches. If you regularly inspect your plants, you can deal with unwanted growth while it's still young rather than waiting until you're holding a large branch and wondering whether you should remove it. And never forget the support system. Pruning and staking or trellising work together. If you train an indeterminate tomato upward, you can selectively remove growth that makes the plant difficult to manage while guiding the main stem along its support. For tomatoes grown in containers, this becomes even more important because you're working with limited space. You don't want a huge jungle of stems competing for light, but you also don't want to strip the plant until only a few leaves remain. There's another pruning mistake that deserves attention: removing too much foliage around developing fruit. Some gardeners believe tomatoes need direct sunlight shining directly onto the fruit to ripen properly. That's not the goal. The plant needs sunlight on its leaves so those leaves can photosynthesize. Exposing the fruit unnecessarily can increase the risk of sunscald, especially during intense summer conditions. So if a healthy leaf is shading a tomato, don't automatically cut it off. The leaf may actually be protecting the fruit. Around the middle of the growing season, I become much more selective. Instead of constantly cutting every new shoot, I look at the overall plant. Is it getting too dense? Are leaves touching the soil? Are branches rubbing against each other? Is there diseased or damaged foliage? Can I reach the fruit easily? And this is where bypass pruning shears become particularly useful. When you're removing a small sucker or making a clean cut on a thin branch, bypass-style blades are designed to make a slicing cut rather than crushing the stem between two blunt surfaces. That makes them especially convenient when you're working through several tomato plants. I use them for removing young suckers, damaged stems, lower foliage, and occasional crowded branches. They also make it easier to make deliberate cuts rather than twisting or pulling at a stem with your fingers. The important point is that the tool doesn't replace good judgment. Sharp, clean shears can make a good pruning decision easier, but they can't tell you whether a healthy leaf should stay on the plant. That decision comes from understanding the plant. And realistically, what should you expect after changing your pruning method? You may notice that the plants are easier to support, easier to inspect, and easier to harvest. A more open canopy can also improve airflow around foliage. And because you're keeping more healthy leaves instead of stripping the plant, you're maintaining the plant's ability to capture sunlight and produce energy for continued growth. Don't expect pruning alone to magically double your harvest. Variety, sunlight, soil fertility, watering, temperature, pollination, and disease pressure all matter. But good pruning can remove unnecessary competition and make the plant much easier to manage. There's also a practical habit I recommend. Don't prune on autopilot. Walk through your tomato plants every few days. Look underneath the canopy. Check the stems. Watch how new growth is developing. If a sucker is young and you know you don't need it, remove it early. If a leaf is healthy and contributing to the canopy, leave it. If a branch is diseased, damaged, or lying against the soil, remove it promptly. If two branches are creating an unusually dense area, make a selective cut rather than stripping everything around them. That approach is much safer than giving the entire plant a haircut. By the end of the season, you'll probably find that your tomato plants look less dramatically pruned than many plants you see online. That's actually the point. A productive tomato plant doesn't need to be almost leafless. It needs enough foliage to produce energy, enough space to remain manageable, and enough airflow to reduce unnecessary congestion. So the next time you're standing beside your tomato plants with your pruning shears, don't ask yourself, how much can I remove? Ask a better question. What does this plant actually need? Remove what is damaged, diseased, touching the soil, or creating genuine congestion. Train the growth you want to keep, and leave healthy productive foliage doing the job it was designed to do. If you want a clean, controlled way to make those cuts, I've linked the bypass pruning shears in the description. Try selective pruning on your tomatoes this season and watch how the plants respond. If this video helped you rethink the way you prune, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with another gardener who might be removing far more tomato foliage than necessary.